Hey everyone, welcome to the Not Hate Speech Show. I'm your host Dylan.
And I'm your host, John. Today we're going to be talking about child drag queens.
Yeah, and we have one in particular from Libs of TikTok. Their handle is Nemo underscore drag.
This is
And
a new one. New
yeah,
one,
so,
too.
so Libs of TikTok writes, "This is a minor drag queen. He goes around doing sexual performances and wearing provocative outfits while adults clap along and stuff money into his clothing. The adults have failed him, incredibly sad." And then John, you and I, we went into the TikTok
Yeah,
and
so we went into the TikTok and we're looking at the videos, and we kind of decided, just because of how uncomfortable just watching them was,
yeah,
that it would probably be better. There's already enough exploitation going on with the child as it is. For us to add to that's not really helping. So some of the videos, just to share, is like, so one of them, they reference that they're a child, and the song in the background that's playing is talking about, I want your thick butt, that's saying in a nice way, in my car. So a song
yeah,
about like picking up someone because you like their ass and getting them in your car is one of the songs that they, are doing something to.
yeah. Very unbecoming of someone that's underage. And some of the TikToks were political in nature in itself. Where
Yeah, and the other kind of interesting thing, and I understand that kids can have those opinions outside of being, like, told what to think. But of course, all their opinions were cut and paste. Conservatives are insane. They hate drag queens. They're just irrational. Because there was another one that they posted about, conservatives are afraid of drag queens and afraid of child drag queens. That's not the case. Like we've said in other videos, there's been a lot of people who do gender bending and do drag that no one has a problem with. The problem is that literally, you're trying to have children do stripper acts, and that's just not appropriate. And even worse, um, like, people, when they try to defend this sort of thing, bring up child beauty pageants. It's like, but we already know that's a problem. So just like try to defend it with something else we know is a problem. Two wrongs don't make a right.
I mean, this
Those.
is yeah, this is basically the equivalent of like child beauty pageants, but like with drag, pretty much.
And they usually don't go all the way to stripper in child beauty pageants. Also,
Yeah.
not all the way. I mean, it's still, there's a lot of messed up stuff, but we're
Well,
going
yeah.
past it.
And you know what? That's what the issue is. That what a lot of like conservative parents are having, moderate parents, because I mean, drag is like a sexual performance in nature, and
Mm-hmm.
then when you try coupling that with children, that's a huge like no. Like this person,
Right.
16-year-old trans male. Um, so I mean, obviously, in some capacity, like they know what they're doing, but I don't. I think they're liking the attention, and that's what is
Of
making
course.
them continue.
Well, that's the problem. I mean, that is the whole issue with consent. The whole point of consent is to say that someone is not of an age that they understand what's going on. And realistically, as much as people are saying, oh, we'll never have that conversation, about children and sex, well, what they're doing right now is they're pushing this idea that children can consent to stuff like this. And
Yeah,
where is the line? Where is the line at that point? Because all the studies we have in psychology and in science say that the brain is not yet developed. They can't understand complex processes yet.
yeah,
They are doing it for attention, and because adults are telling them it's what you're supposed to do. The danger here is that now that means you can tell that child anything and they'll do it. And they'll think that's what you're supposed to do. And
yep.
that's, not consent.
That's true. And the human brain doesn't fully form until you're about 25 years of age.
Right.
Um, so I mean, like obviously, this person's like almost an entire decade before reaching that point, and like I said, it's just more along the lines of like drag queens coaxing this young, impressionable mind with attention. And obviously, everyone likes attention in some capacity and
Right.
doesn't fully encapsulate or can rationalize the entire situation for what it is.
Right.
Um, and it's really unfortunate to see something like this unfold. And you have several adults here that should know better.
Definitely. Oh, well,
Oh,
there's always a type. It's always the same type, by the way. It's the cat mom, liberal white woman is what you always see doing this nonsense.
they're
It's
all
always
fat.
that person because they're trying to find a way to be relevant in this new culture,
Yep.
and the way they've found is manipulating children
Yep.
because they don't have any other place really in the culture.
Yeah.
But
And
so
I think
Shea Coulee's tweet. She tweeted a prominent drag queen that's been pretty high up in like RuPaul's Drag Race and that sort of thing mentioned that there was no, they haven't arrested on To Catch a Predator a drag queen yet in defense of this. That's not true. There's actually been people who were in drag that were child predators, and the problem is that the gaslighting that happens when there are people who take advantage of these kinds of things, and then we, as a gay community or LGBT or whatever, defend it and pretend like it's not happening, but it is. It is. It's not fair if like a Catholic church does it and someone did it in there, they should own up to it and say we disavow it.
Yeah, and
why
that's
aren't we
fair.
disavowing it?
Because it's easier to just let things unfold and then have our like protective shield being like, oh, we're a protected class. And that's
Right.
how I feel like a lot of this skates by, because like you could have a cop right there, but because it's a LGBTQ plus whatever, it's a protected class. And now if you intervene, you're a bigot, you're racist, you're transphobe, you're some sort of whatever, and people don't want to deal with that kind of situation.
Right. If this was all straight people, there would be child endangerment charges.
Oh yeah,
there would be CPS
the business would be shut down,
door.
And it wouldn't end well for anyone. And this is why I feel like we have a lot of fake people in our community that like act like they're part of our community, but just use the name and title only as a means of protection. Yeah,
right. Because it's a great protection. It's one of the best ones there is right now.
Yep. And
right.
It's sad. And there's some mean comments here in like the comment section, but I mean, kind of just objectively so.
I need glasses. Tell me some.
Well, the first one, let's see. Side note to this depravity. Everyone in the picture is so overweight, which is true. Probably could go on treadmill a little bit. And then parents, yeah. And then parents, why allow a child's innocence to be destroyed? Yeah. And then someone else commenting, this is a woke cult success story. And then someone's asking who goes to these shows, and it's just, it's disappointing.
I would feel uncomfortable if I was in an adult gay bar, and a lot of those bars, guys are cruising on each other. The whole thing is adult.
Yeah.
There's just no place for kids in gay bars. It's alcohol. It's cruising for each other. It's sexual drag.
Yeah.
A child being in that environment does not fit. Does not fit in any capacity.
Yeah. And it just perpetuates like bad stereotypes for our community because we're allowing this to happen and no one's standing up for it. And then it's...
And what was that neon sign in the back of that one? They just set up, like literally the LGBT drag people set this up on themselves because they had behind children that sign that said it ain't gonna lick itself.
Yep. And then they tried defending it saying, oh, well, that's just reference to the ice cream.
Oh my God.
Really?
A pink neon sign like in Moulin Rouge is not in reference to ice cream.
The gaslighting is incredible of the lengths that our community will go to.
And that doubling down on it like that actually just makes it worse. Like I've said a million times, like if gay people lose their rights, it's gonna be because of this.
Yep.
Because of the gaslighting and targeting children and then saying you're not targeting children, but you are.
Yep. But it is what it is. But like that, our time's up for this. So we're gonna wrap up. So everyone watching, thank you so much for participating. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. Press that like button because it will help the algorithm so we get a little bit more of a audience. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button and share with your friends. And again, my name is Dylan. Thanks for joining us.
I'm John. Bye.